everybody. Happy Friday. It's time for the round table. How we all doing? Voices
Good.
on the edge. Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Kim Page, and at the table today we have Keisha and Katie. We have Maureen, Roseanne, Marley, Andrea, and Mo, and we welcome Miss Lori King. Welcome to the table. Thank you. Welcome.
Yay!
So,
Yay!
As usual, it's been a crazy week, everybody. Not just for topics that we talk about, but we hit 1,000 subscribers this week. 1,000. Let me tell you, yay!
Yay!
We went live last May, I believe it was May 2nd, right? So it took us a little over 9 months to hit the first 500 subscribers. And it took us less than 9 days to hit the second 500. Thank you, Keisha. We hit a hot topic. And so ladies who don't want to be forced into marriage, thank you. That was a hot topic. We loved it. So who's joining us today? Who's in the comments? If you're out there, please say hello. You know we love to talk to you. And everybody let me know when Angry Army Vet arrives, because we want to welcome our new member. Okay, so, geez, again, nothing happened this week.
Yeah, right.
So tonight, yeah, we're looking as usual on a roundtable. Everybody brings a topic, or most everybody brings a topic they want to talk about. So we're looking at a series of stories tonight that really touch on one big question: who controls the narrative and who controls access to information? So from the White House and the Pentagon releasing a highly produced war video, complete propaganda that Andrea is going to talk about, to reports of paid access to security briefings. Katie's going to talk to us about that, to questions about veterans' rights under a proposed guardianship. Roseanne. We'll look at the First Amendment concerns involving the Pentagon. Maureen's going to talk to us about that. And yes, the continuing consumer boycott of Target coming out of Minnesota. And also Mo's going to touch a little bit upon this threat that we've received in California. So we'll kind of check into that, see where the truth and the falsehoods lie. So before we do that, every week on our roundtable, we look at the breaking news, because there's usually something that's come up that we want to highlight. So the first one, let me see if I can pull it up here, is unfortunately we lost some more of our military in a horrible accident due to this war. So let's listen to that for a little bit.
And for you, 6 American service members now confirmed dead after a U.S. refueling plane crashed in Iraq. I'm Scripps News' Stephanie Liebergan, and you're watching On the Scene.
War is hell. War is chaos. And as we saw yesterday with the tragic crash of our KC-135 tanker, bad things can happen.
That plane went down in western Iraq Thursday. It looked similar to this one you see here, and it collided with a second aircraft. And again, the military confirming all 6 airmen aboard are dead. Scripps News senior investigative correspondent Patrick Sturptura joining me now live in the studio with more. So it was first 4 dead, 2 missing. Now they know all 6 have died as a result of that crash. What else do we know?
Yeah, all 6 now accounted for, and unfortunately all 6 have died. This was apparently some sort of a mid-air incident, and we understand that this occurred in the western part of Iraq during combat operations that were taking place, but the military not saying much more than that, beyond saying that this is all under investigation and that, again, it involved 2 aircraft, that KC-135, and a second aircraft that has not yet been identified by the military. But images as well as flight data online show that there was a second KC-135 refueling aircraft that also had some sort of incident around the same time. This is an image that has been posted online that shows significant damage to a vertical stabilizer on that 135 that had to turn around and land back at Tel Aviv, Israel, in the evening yesterday, shortly after this other incident. This crash coming during a lot of refueling operations that had been taking place during combat operations during the day that had been seeing a lot of action over not just Iraq, but of course also Iran. And it is the fourth time that there has been an incident involving an aircraft. We heard from the Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Dan Kane earlier this morning talking about those lives lost.
Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on that particular story. Again, Hegseth, well, you know, shit happens. You know, they forget to mention that we have no business being there in the first place.
Their blood is on his hands.
Say that again, Katie.
Their blood, those soldiers, their blood is on Hegseth's hands.
They don't even like to talk about the fallen soldiers. I mean, as far as they're concerned, it's bad publicity.
It sounds like an inconvenience. That's what they make it sound like.
Yeah.
So in addition to that, the news is Trump is talking about deploying 5,000 Marines.
Oh, God.
Hormuz, right? So we're talking about now boots on the ground. And so I haven't heard if that's been committed to, but when that happens, everything changes in this particular war. And then go ahead.
I'm just so fearful that this is going to turn into a quagmire like Vietnam.
Yeah. That's what I think about also. Mama.
Yep. And that KC-135 was out of Beale, which is not very far from here. So all 6 of those soldiers are local men and or women. I mean, that's what happens when you have an alcoholic running a department. They don't make good decisions.
No, he's just so unqualified too to be in the position.
Just listening to all the experts, it's like there is no plan, there is no strategy, there is no reason. There is, I mean, this is all fabricated, and again, another Iraq, right?
Well, wasn't there I read or listened, someone was talking about there was like a closed door briefing with a bunch of senators, and the Democratic senators came out and were like, yeah, they have no plan. This is pointless.
There is no plan. So we're seeing the fallout, what they call unintended consequences, because a lot of the experts are saying Trump thought he could just go in, do what he did in Venezuela, and come out, and that Iran wouldn't do anything. So in the words of who we love, Heather Cox Richardson, she said, Trump has kicked the hornet's nest.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is what we are about to. Yeah.
So those.
Absolutely.
It was 11
They're
soldiers.
just getting really bad.
13 now, I believe.
Yeah.
13 or 14
I think we're up to
now,
13
total.
or 14.
Total.
So those 13 on top of the 180 something girls from the school in Iraq.
Yes.
Yeah. There have been 1,000 already that Iran is reporting have been lost.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking the unintentional versus the intentional. Like, no death is okay. No murder is okay. But if these leaders can't even get it right, and all of these people are dying because they are messing up, but we're supposed to pretend like they're doing a good job and lead with this. Well, I'm not going to jump into Andrea's topic, but lead with this propaganda front of, yay, America, we're doing such a great job kicking Iran's ass. No, we're not. You're fucking up.
You know what it reminds me of? It's like COVID all over again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, it's just a few cases. It's going to be over in a week. It's, you know, blah, blah,
And
blah,
actually,
blah,
that
millions
was-
of people later.
Ironically, that was like 6 years ago to the day that people were talking about how teachers were told to bring all their stuff home with them, and but well, did you hear their excuse? One of their excuses about why it hit the school, because that was an old some type of old military base, and they had old information. That's not the flex you think it is. It makes you look even worse.
And that's what happens when you fire all the people who give you up-to-date intel.
Exactly.
And look, they got him back again.
It was evidently like 10 years old information.
Competent one.
So
there was just really quick, there was a video of a reporter who went to that school, and they had all of the children, there wrapped in their swaddling, however they do it. It just tore me up.
Yeah.
To see that.
We showed a little bit of that last week, and it was horrifying. Just those little girls. And to think about, this is Iran, right? Where women don't have a lot of rights.
A lot of rights.
Girls were in school.
Yeah.
So it's horrifying. So these are the unintended consequences. But like you said, Keisha, maybe, I don't know. What is the intention? One other one, just breaking news that I wanted to show is this.
We're learning more about the man that law enforcement says drove directly into Temple Israel here in West Bloomfield, where there were about 140 staff members and young children. We are learning that this man is 41-year-old Ayman Mohammed Ghazali. He was born in Lebanon. He became a U.S. citizen in 2016. Officials are now saying that he had family who was killed in an airstrike in Lebanon. A mayor there says 2 of his brothers were killed, 2 of his sisters-in-law were killed in that airstrike, and a niece and nephew were killed in that airstrike. His parents were also injured. Law enforcement has not yet said exactly what the motive is here. They're continuing to say that this is under investigation, but the FBI is saying very clearly this was clearly a hateful attack. It was clearly terrible, and it was absolutely an attack targeted at the Jewish community here in West Bloomfield.
Yeah. Other unintended consequences.
Well, and this is in my woods.
What was that?
Sorry.
Woo! Let's go.
that was my sound mixer. I am so sorry. No, what I was saying is I grew up.
We're awake.
Make it alive, yeah. But the thing is I grew up in Oakland County, so Dearborn is a highly Muslim community. And Trump already screwed them over after the election. And they're still ticked off with the bans from, their families can't even come into the country. And in my town, we actually have a resort kind of area called Camp Dearborn. And that's where people from, Dearborn comes down and, relaxes. There's lakes, there's, paddle boats and stuff. But, when this happened, I was just like, oh my God, this is closer to my parents, closer to where I grew up. This is not how we handle things. But the thing is it's like, I condemn it. However, this person obviously was distraught and, losing family members, and for a war that we should never ever have, ever. It really pains me, and I'm checking in on with my parents because they're so close. I'm like, are you guys okay? What's going to happen next? And I worry about my hometown.
Hey, shout out. Angry Army vet. First of all, thank you, Lori. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Those are great points. Absolutely. And the personal stories really hit home. I just want to do a shout out to Angry Army vet for becoming a new member. Thank you. So I want to make sure that we acknowledge that. So yeah, absolutely. This is someone who felt he had to take revenge on, unfortunately, the Jewish community. These are targets. that had nothing to do with the loss of his family in Lebanon. So this is the heartbreak again of war. People feel like they have to have revenge in some place, in some way, in some shape or form.
Yeah.
So we have the war going on, and boy, is the propaganda flying. So let's move to our first topic. Andrea is going to talk about this particular topic. Andrea, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, and thank you for having me today. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad I'm not over there in Iran. I'm sad about all the people that have passed and the people that have lost their children. You know, that's horrible. So I wanted to play that video. I don't know if you can start with that so I can make sure we're on the right topic.
We have so many. Sometimes it's hard.
And I heard you talking and you were mentioning some of the stuff, but that's okay. You can go ahead.
Okay, looks like we're going to get an ad first. So,
it's a short ad.
Okay, perfect. We'll watch it.
We need some distraction.
Ooh, yay, Texas.
Turn to the way that the White House is trying to sort of set the narrative on what's going on there. And they're doing it in this example that I'm going to play by reaching out to a very important, very big part of the population, including and especially those I think that they consider their base, gamers. But what the White House did was they released a video combining real footage from the real war with a video game, part of what's a very familiar video game known as Call of Duty. We're winning this fight. And Nia, the Washington Post was reporting on this and, just sort of stated the fact that the White House is mixing real footage with a kill streak animation from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. And the White House Communications Director, Stephen Chung, responded, W's in the chat, boys, which is a gaming term when people are gaming and they do well, they put win in the chat.
Listen, I mean, I think this is in keeping with the way Pete Hegseth is also talking about the war. He, of course, had a press conference yesterday talking about utter dominance, talking about the war, likening it to a football game, I think was one of the analogies that he used. And it's part of the sort of the bro culture that Donald Trump used to win. It's part of Pete Hegseth, why he's the Secretary of War and why it's not the Department of Defense anymore. So it's part of the selling of the war, and we'll see if it's effective. I mean, I think the questions that everybody has is what happens after the sort of dominance. We've reported on these wars over the last many years. The shock and awe part of it is always part of the initial selling of it, the utter dominance of the American military, best military ever in the history of the world. We get that, right? And you also could see that the White House obviously understands media, understands social media. This is a president who is watching the coverage of this war on his television set every day and trying to program it, right? And so I think that's part of it. It's part of why they were so high on the sinking of that naval vessel, which apparently was just sort of a ceremonial vessel in hyping that up. So listen, this is a White House that is good at the hype. I think, listen, if you were part of the families who have lost Americans, 6 Americans have died, this is quite distasteful to liken a war to a video game because, these are soldiers' lives who are at risk. And so to liken them to a football game or a video game, I think is offensive to a lot of people.
Well, right now we know that 6 Americans have died. The Iranians say 1,100 Iranians have died. We have no way of judging that. But I've never seen anything like this that sort of takes the real footage and tries to basically suggest this is a game. There is nothing more serious that states do than use force, and particularly in urban areas where civilians are going to die. We know that school children died in one of the first strikes. We don't know who actually did that strike, whether it was the Israelis or the US, and the administration doesn't seem eager particularly to tell us that. It does fit in, and it also fits in with Secretary Hegseth's criticism of the press for making too much of the casualties.
Yeah, which, and I think everybody would agree with this, nobody's making too much of casualties. People who are reporting on it are honoring their service, and giving the ultimate sacrifice, not doing so to offend President Trump. It's about the soldiers, not the commander.
And his chairman of the Joint Chiefs opened his statement after Hegseth talking about the casualties by name.
Such a, oh my God. Okay. Where do we start, everybody?
Yeah, I was so surprised, when they made that video and made light of the people that had died and still didn't even have the correct numbers. And I mean, it was just a surprise to me, a shock. I'd never seen a president. Not only did he make the Obamas, look like animals and then laughing at what happened to these people. And because on Wednesday, the preliminary finding of the U.S. investigation into the recent airstrike on Sahara Tayape, an elementary school for girls in the Iranian city of Manab, the investigation confirmed what all public evidence had pointed to, that American Tomahawk missile destroyed the school, killing roughly 175 people, per Iranian estimates, most of whom were children, in which all of you had already, spoken about a little. I thought that was so sad. Again, generations have, they've lost children and legacies, and it's just a real sad story. And nothing I'm happy about. I don't know where they're going to attack next. They say California, but you really don't know where you're safe. You don't know if it's in your home or in an airplane or in a train. So I did want to hear what some of your opinions were about him making a video about this.
Well, there is I don't know if y'all saw the response video from Iran, and it's made up of Legos. Their video's better. Because it starts with Trump and Satan, and I don't remember the third character. I think it's Hegseth, looking at the Epstein files and being angry, and then bombing those little girls at the school. And you got to imagine that made him mad if he's seen it. And if he hasn't seen it, he will see it.
And didn't it also have a button that says lie? What are you going to do? Lie. And then they push it or something like that?
I missed it. It was full of Easter eggs. Like, I had to watch it at least 3 times just to catch everything.
I thought it was funny today seeing the fact that in the past 8 hours, they said Trump has been getting sicker. I'm like, not sick enough. That's what the reporting is.
He's been sick.
That he's been getting sicker. Physically he's sicker. And I think when you have that much hate in your heart, all you can do is get sick.
Can we put back up, Army, Bet's first one?
Yeah.
The first one when we were talking about this, because I think she makes the fact they are making fun of war, the deaths and crimes, is absolutely despicable and disgusting. War destroys people's families and generations. This is not a reality TV war game show. 100%. That's what we, keep talking about. They think this is some kind of reality show, and now we're, in the season of war, where this is just some big joke to them because they don't give a shit about the people that they're putting in harm's way.
The thing that makes me angry is I'm so sick. It's okay. I'm so sick of this like fake alpha frat boy attitude that they all just seem to have, and they are forgetting that, like Angry Army Vet was saying, like, this is not a game. This is people's lives. This is people's families that are now ruined by your incompetence and your bullshit.
Alongside of the article, the Times posted a verified video from the school in the hours following the bombing. You can see on the remains of the building outer wall a light blue mural depicting a child playing with a butterfly. You can hear in the video's audio the inhumane wails of someone who had just lost a child dear to them. And who would want to hear yourself lose one of your children like that?
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's disgusting how they're minimizing the fact that little children and innocent people are being murdered. For what reason? A lie? Why are we over there?
For nothing.
And the propaganda that they're doing makes me wonder, do they see this as a war that's going to take a long time? Because it seems like they're trying to recruit young men to say it's okay. It's going to be like a game to go over into another country and just like for no reason, kind of like they're trying to like in the Vietnam War, people changed their minds about the war when they saw the dead bodies, and so they seem like they're trying to get ahead of it. And Keg's breath, when he went out there and was yelling at the press about how they're talking about the war, which means they're like telling the truth. He was more concerned about the image, how that looks, because they know that that's going to change people's opinions, and they're trying to get ahead of it. That's what I'm thinking.
As we talked about Wednesday, real quick, and I'll let you go, Lori, is they're framing this as a holy war, as a catalyst to Armageddon and the second coming of Jesus.
It makes it even more dangerous. Because if you talk about Armageddon and the end of the world, we saw what happened with 6 years ago with COVID, how desperate people got. It's not going to make things better.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be worse.
Yeah, Lori,
yeah. What I want to say is, I feel like these videos are targeting young men. My son is 16 years old. He plays Call of Duty. He plays a lot of video games, and I feel that they're trying to people on this even more, before they're even 18, so they're part of the MAGA cult. And I was so appalled by it. They're just making light of it. It's just, this is not what you do as a president. This is not what you do as Secretary of Defense. You need to be an adult. You need to be a leader. You need to tell us, the American people, and your own military that is putting their lives on the line, of why we're there, what you're going to do, and what we're trying to achieve. I don't like George W. Bush, when he got elected and stuff, but he actually did come forward and say, even though I didn't agree with the war at all, he still went to every, politician in the House and Senate. It's like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what we think it is. And he even addressed the American people with honor, at least compared to Trump.
Yeah. And here's what's very different when we're talking about propaganda, and that's all we're getting. Every time you see one of these briefings, it's just a bunch of propaganda. I remember in the first Gulf War, now, that a lot of people were on board with. They felt like, Saddam Hussein had to be taken down. But every morning, I remember the generals themselves would give a briefing. They would tell you what was happening, where they were going, what they were doing, what the objective was, and how long they thought this was going to take. And so as a citizen, I felt very informed. I knew is at the time my husband was over there, my ex-husband was over there in the first Gulf War. And so I felt like I was informed. I knew what was going on. Now all you're getting are video game commercials and Pete Hegseth talking about how we're winning the war, we're annihilating them, which we're not. We're not doing that. It seems like all we're doing is killing a bunch of civilians.
That's all we are doing. And none of Trump's children are going to be in these wars. And the other thing is Hegseth is talking about, and you won't be able to, once they take control of the media, the legacy media, that we won't be able to hear this information. So I just want us to stay prayed up, and hopefully, I'm hoping we don't lose a lot of service members. I didn't want to go to war with Iran. I actually thought the country was going in the right direction before he got reelected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we go? Jazzy made a good point about targeting these young men. I don't think it's necessarily games, it's the platforms that draw in young men that this is coming from. Like that W in the chat is what's done on Twitch, right? My younger son was a gamer for a very long time. So yeah.
I want to
address.
I just want to say that
Let's start with Marley and then we'll go to Lori.
I just want to say propaganda and controlling the press can only go so far. It'll change when you see young men and women coming home off of the airplane in coffins with the flags laying on top. You can't stop social media images of what we're doing in Iran. And I just think that something's going to happen, and you can't stop people seeing something happening, terrorist acts happening in America. So all these things are going to happen, and they're not going to be able to control it, and they're hurting everyone. Everybody's hurting for a lie.
Right. Right. Lori?
I wanted to address a comment that was made by Maimoni. I did nip that in the bud. My son has learned, he's the most loving person in the world. When he was a child, he would go up, doesn't matter what your race is, whatever. He would just go and see a baby and go and turn to the parents, go, "You have a really beautiful baby." And, that's how he is now. And he's 16 and he knows that Trump is bad. He knows what we're doing is bad. I just find it irritating that we have, them taking this AI stuff and making it really, where, hey, we're doing a great job here, but no one knows what we're doing. I'm so over it. I'm so over it.
Well, one weapon we also have about against this propaganda is they may be able to take over mainstream media and put all the oligarchs, but what they cannot control is international news and independent media. And so, tune into that to keep informed of what's really going on.
Yeah, and that'll be a great segue into Maureen's segment. But Andrea, I want to make sure we finish up with
that's it wasn't funny to me, and that's why I wanted to speak on it today. I'm like, this is not funny. We're losing a lot of people, so I've said enough.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the media and the Pentagon and what Hegseth has said about it. So, Maureen, I'm going to turn that over to you.
Before we get to the video, which I think will tell you what he said and how he said it, so tired of Hegseth. I mean, he is so unqualified. I'm going to say it. He's a nasty bugger. He doesn't care about anybody. So now he wants to control the media, and he's attacking them. But you know what? He's so dumb. He never knows what he's saying. And what's really strange is they act like they're not communicating with each other, he and Trump.
Yeah.
Oh, please. Oh, please. I can't believe that. Obviously, he's Trump's puppet, and he's being controlled by him. He doesn't have a backbone or a mind of his own. And having said that, why don't you show the video?
Alrighty.
It'll disgust you, but.
Well, not Whoopi, but we'll get past that.
Senate failed to pass a war powers resolution that would limit, whose authority on military action. Administration officials also took heat yesterday for their comments on the 6 U.S. soldiers killed in combat. Let's take a look.
We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality.
Is it the position of this administration that the press should not prominently cover the deaths of U.S. service members?
No, it's the position of this administration that the press in this room and the press across the country should accurately report on the success of Operation Epic Fury. But
Secretary Hexeth was complaining that it was front page news about these 6 service members who were killed.
You and your network know that you take every single thing this administration says and tries to use it to make the president look bad. That is an objectable fact.
I don't think covering troop deaths is trying to make.
If you're trying to.
Well, so here's my question. Every president who has had a war going on has always allowed the press to talk about the deaths. They always keep it front and center. They're always a part of it because it's not just troops. These are American people. These are American soldiers who gave their lives. So this isn't about the president. This is about we're losing lives, and that's what they're reporting. And sometimes I think, it ain't all about you. It ain't all about you. Take this. This is a real thing because, this whole thing, and I know a lot of people don't agree, but what's frustrated me more than anything is, usually when there is a plan, when they go out and they know they're going to do something, they're going to bomb somebody. They've talked to the American embassies to find out how many people are here, So they have some sort of plan to get them out. Is it always smooth? No, but there is some sort of plan to get them out. And the original, I'm sorry, Joy, the original response to Americans who were there on vacation was, you can't come to us to get you out. They have amended it, but this is the American embassy. If I can't go to the embassy because a war is broken out, who do you go to? I'm just frustrated by the whole
I get
thing.
that. I think war can be frustrating, and I think it can be scary, and I think attacks can be scary. When I think about, and I know Secretary of War Pete Hegseth well enough to know that he's heartbroken over the deaths.
Oh my God!
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
No. Guantanamo Bay.
Liar, liar, pants on fire.
More than most. What it's like to
He's nuts.
war or
Oh God.
The sacrifice that comes with war, and he will.
No,
in
he
fact, be the
doesn't. He
one
wasn't
who
even
will
qualified to
receive,
go to war.
The bodies.
That's why
of
he's
the
no
fallen
longer
and
in the military.
families. So he's not flippantly saying.
Did we hear enough, or do we want to?
Yes.
Good. Okay, sounds like we want to talk about this.
Okay, that wasn't the video.
Tomato.
I sent a video that showed really just Hegseth talking.
Oh,
So
yeah, this
I
is
was
the one.
like,
This is the second one that you said we were going to show the view. I can.
yeah, sorry about that, guys. Oh well.
It's like we're at a movie and we're throwing popcorn at the screen. Hell yeah!
That was triggering. Woo!
The one that he was criticizing the media. I'll talk about it. It was specifically CNN, and he put that whole organization down.
We're 6 days
that they were despicable.
into the U.S. strikes.
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's the same video. So I'm not sure what happened.
something happened as I sent that off to you. Sorry about that, but I can emote myself. It was just despicable as usual. I mean, he just said there was awful things about CNN and the people there. But you know what he was doing? He was going against the First Amendment.
Yep.
And the journalists and speaking the truth. He wanted to ban it. And he said that he had been talking to Trump, and they were thinking of banning CNN and any of those people speaking to this war. And then Trump comes on and says, I don't know what he's talking about. Excuse me, isn't this your Secretary of Defense? And I'm not going to say, well, you know what he calls it, which is.
No, when they told them that they didn't have to obey unlawful orders, why did they obey going to war? I would have, some people say they were afraid of losing their jobs, but it's a lose-lose anyway.
I keep waiting. I keep hearing from people that are veterans talking about like people who are currently in the military that are mad about all this. So where are they? Like, this is the time for you guys to step up and
and that's why I said Mark Kelly told him that you don't have to obey this. And I want to know where the adults are.
Well, and it should be the commanders, because we can't leave it up to the enlisted men. It has to be the leaders in the military who are saying we are not going to follow unlawful orders. This was not authorized by Congress. This is not an authorized war. And unfortunately, they got rid of all those generals who would even think about doing that. Right? So
I'll give a quote from Hegseth too. He says, quote, "We will control the media." He actually
that's what he said today.
The hell he will.
Yeah, he talked about I saw that video. He talked about the banners. Like instead of the banners saying this, they should be saying that. And then he talked about Pete Ellis or whoever that is that's about to take over CNN.
David Ellison.
Yeah, we can't wait until Ellis. He can't take over soon enough. It's just ridiculous.
Well, he's already done that with access to the Pentagon, right? We don't even have real journalists at the Pentagon. I think they're all pretty much right-wing influencers at this point.
I'm still frustrated that, like the journalists just don't stand up for each other. Like, good on Caitlin Collins for not backing down. Like, she's a tough one. She doesn't put up with stuff. And like, I honestly think that like Hegseth and Trump are afraid of her because she doesn't back down. And so that's the only reason why they insult her, because it's all they can do.
I'm wondering, I'm wondering even if the independent media people will get the real news.
Oh,
that's a good question.
I mean, I really do. Will Don get the real news? Will Joy Reid get the real news? I don't know the way they're trying to shut it down.
This is why you have to extend your sources beyond what the news here in the United States, and you have
I'm just wondering how.
International news.
Yeah, the BBC, Andrea.
This is
problem.
There's a lot of people that are also getting subscriptions to VPNs where you can say like, hey, I'm actually in Canada or I'm actually in England. So you can see the international news from an international perspective right away instead of what they're trying to say here.
Okay, that's
Can you put Jazzy's back up real quick?
VPN on my phone and on my laptop. I am currently in Montreal.
Look, Keisha's already on it. I love that. Inserts
our audience would like to know that too.
That's funny, Jazzy.
VPNs are great. They're not that expensive, and you can tell them where you are, and then you have access to media wherever that is. Then you get access to international media.
Yeah, I think my VPN's like $6 a month or something. It's something. that's pretty reasonable.
Now, is it called VPN, Victor Papa?
Yes,
We'll
it stands for Virtual Private Network.
Okay.
And we will not be advertising a particular company because they can pay us for that.
Right.
But I do after the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was in World War II in England, the radio they had where people could access. I can't recall it now, but that's what they did in World War II. God forbid.
Radio Free Europe, Maureen.
That was it. Yeah.
Can we put Angry Army that's coming back up? I wish there was a way for me to convey the double-edged sword with wearing the uniform and having your own ethics and belief systems. There is a chain of command and rank system that plays a part. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So we can't put that pressure on the rank and file, basically. We have to put that pressure on the leadership.
Yeah, that was part of that story that we did on Wednesday when I was talking about, like, you can't get up and walk out of the room when your commander is speaking. So, or you can't tell him, get out of my face with all that, because then you're brought up on insubordination charges.
Right. So. Correct. So it is, it's double-edged sword. And what do? You report it like people did, right?
Mm-hmm.
You report it. Maureen, any more on that?
No. Sorry about the video, though, guys. Experience that one.
I tried to pull up the other two that you gave me, and it went to nothing.
Well, I'll make sure in the future.
We'll do some testing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some nightmares now, Maureen. Between Kegseth and Hasselbeck.
The double H's.
Yeah. So in staying with the same theme, I know, Mo, we're going to talk a little bit because California was threatened.
Yes.
Or we thought so.
We thought
right?
so.
So you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. Before we put the video up, supposedly the FBI themselves said that there was a drone threat to California. And of course, for a couple of days, all of us here in California, I live practically in the backyard of an Air Force base. And I know that Kim said that her family has just moved pretty close to Camp Pendleton. And so, of course, you worry if this is for real or not. And then just come to find out, if we can play the video.
Yeah. We have several Air Force bases in California that are high visibility and would be high targets.
Right now, Caroline Leavitt is now claiming that no threat to the United States homeland from Iran concerning drone attacks on California ever existed. Remember the article that came out over the past 24 hours from ABC News saying that there was a tip or some information sent to law enforcement in California that Iran could be preparing to strike California cities with drones? Well, now Leavitt is saying this post and story should immediately be retracted for providing false information to intentionally alarm the American people. Mind you, she didn't respond to ABC News when ABC News asked for comment. They wrote this based on one email that was sent to local law enforcement in California about a single unverified tip. To be clear, no such threat from Iran to our homeland exists, and it never did. Well, it obviously did exist in some form because there was a tip sent to local law enforcement about it.
Yep.
And the White House refused to tell ABC News anything about it. The mixed messaging coming out of the White House continues this afternoon, and I'll have more updates for you very soon. Follow along for all the news you need to know about. We have some news right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again, they already have a credibility problem, right? So what are you supposed to believe? How are you supposed to prepare? We had Gavin Newsom, pulling up all sorts of things, which is costing us money. And if there's not a threat, then that's not necessary. But again, you're high anxiety in areas where there are military bases and things like that in California because you just don't know what's the truth. And then this has not been substantiated in any way. So I'm letting you know that this has not been backed up by any facts. But I also saw a little tidbit about some drones that were stolen right here in the United States,
Mhm.
right
That's
before this story came out about California. So again, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but I wouldn't put it past this administration to drop drones on California to start some mess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that story too, and they said it was the drones had just cameras on them.
Yeah.
But was it this one? No, I had a thing that I was going to pull up on that. But they were, yeah, I saw that too. And then there was reports of what they call the death plane.
Yes.
So it's a plane that communicates with our nuclear subs, but they do regular trainings and flights in the area anyway, but people are noticing more.
And keep in mind, we killed his father, we killed his wife, we killed his sister, her husband, and he got injured also.
His daughter.
So they are going to retaliate. And I'm right by Fort Hood, which is now Fort Canaveral, and Trump wants to rename it back to Fort Hood. So, I mean, I'm very close to it, and they've been having maneuvers out here, and they've installed some new cable equipment out here today too. So, you know, I wouldn't be playing with the United States if they killed almost my whole, closest family, my closest relatives.
Well, yeah, they kicked the hornet's nest.
And going back to drones, I don't know if you guys know, but his sons, Eric and Don Jr., have a large stake in ownership of drone manufacturers.
Yeah, let the grift continue.
Yeah,
So disgusting.
exactly. It's a master class in
Yeah,
grift.
it's always about the grift. Anything else on that, Momo?
No, that was it. It was just really
Great
short.
update. Yeah. So the grift continues, and this story is brand new. So I'm going to turn it over to Katie, because holy shit, Katie.
Yeah. So
what is this about?
So last night when we were doing Millennial Gaze right at the end, I always keep my news stuff open just in case something breaks. So I get this. Trump offers donors access to national security briefings. Y'all remember those $5 million Trump cards? Well, this is worse. So he literally is using a photo from when he was at the Dover Air Force Base the other day, dishonoring the troops. He's promoting a national security briefing membership to supporters who donate to him in a new fundraising email, promising what he calls national security briefing. Oh, excuse me, my allergies and I'm tired. Unfiltered updates on the threats facing America. I'm sorry, isn't this a threat? A national security threat to America? And Midas Touch, where this article came from, subscribes to Trump's emails. So this is the actual email where he says, I'm making this announcement public for the first time. This email address just gets me. contact@win.donaldjtrump.com.
Oh my God.
How into yourself do you have to be?
Where is it?
There it is. Yeah. And he talks about claim your spot in an elite group, and you'll hear from Trump himself on foreign adversaries, border threats, and what he describes as deep state sabotage.
That's so disgusting.
And how much is it, Katie?
I don't know exactly if they have it yet. It's just talking about claiming your spot to be a part of this.
Oh my God.
And
how's that not
starts at $1 million? Probably starts at $1 million.
It probably starts at $1 million, but I doubt that there's any guidelines of you must be a United States citizen or you must be something of this. Anybody could get this. Anybody could get this. They could buy it, and they could literally be finding out our secrets before we do.
How is this even possible? How is this even legal? What the fuck is going on? Like nobody is
Yeah.
saying like, what the fuck are you doing, Donald? Like, I don't understand.
The
And
straight
who's getting the money?
Trump is. It's all going to his campaign. Like, what the hell is he's done after this? He's supposed to be done after this. What the hell is all this money going towards? Except his pockets.
Oh, he's pocketing it all.
Yep.
Oh gosh.
And just to answer Marley, it's like, no, there is no one there telling him that he can't do it. That whole regime is just running amok right now, and there are absolutely no guardrails.
And it's
angry army vet, yes, 100%.
I think I was watching something with like Mehdi Hassan where he was talking about, you know, the only part of the reason why they haven't gotten a lot of their agenda done is because all the people in his cabinet are just that stupid and incompetent, and that's kind of what is saving our country right now. But like, you'll get the inside scoop from me and the leader who's rebuilt the greatest military in history and put America first like no one else. It's
the Dow.
Yeah.
But the Dow.
But again, there's no actual price, and it's like secure, be elite, and of course, like, I just saw this, paid for by Never Surrender Inc.
That's crazy.
God.
That is so awful.
There's always a grift. Always a grift.
God, that man is.
The 10 billion.
And I just, like I said, I just wanted to bring it to you. You can take all this, Like, what is this? What is this anymore? This is, you know, it's this like reality show bullshit, or it's a grift, or it's these alpha keg stand. Oh, we're so strong bullshit. Like,
and the only reason we can't impeach him is because of the Supreme Court.
Well, Supreme Court and the Congress.
We can impeach him. We can impeach him. GOP won't do it.
Yeah.
And I forgot one person. They killed his mother too, not just his father. His mother too.
Oh, you guys, we are in for it.
We in trouble. You killed my mother. You in trouble.
Yeah.
You in danger, girl.
Thank you, Katie. We need to keep an eye on that story for sure. So to kind of bring it into our to military, we're going to go to the veterans with Roseanne. This is another interesting story. Roseanne?
Thank you. Thank you for letting me talk about this, because you know veterans are near and dear to my heart. So apparently, earlier this week, the VA, in collaboration with the DOJ, has launched a program to place certain veterans under public guardianship or conservatorship if they are deemed incapable of managing their own medical care and lack family or legal representation. The effort is primarily going to target veterans who are experiencing homelessness or at risk of homelessness, as well as those with severe mental health or substance abuse challenges. The VA attorneys will be appointed as special assistant U.S. attorneys to initiate and participate in state court proceedings for these guardianships. So they're saying that some of the purpose and the benefits is that it will ensure timely and appropriate care for veterans. It'll facilitate safe transitions from VA hospitals to other care facilities. It may prevent unnecessary prolonged hospitalizations, and it could provide a structured support for vulnerable veterans. But here's what I think is not good. You know, I don't know, a conservatorship or a guardianship is it allows one person to manage another person's medical, housing, and financial decisions. So essentially, that individual who is being managed has no control over their life whatsoever. Unlike a civil commitment, though, it is temporary, but guardianships are durable and are periodically reviewed and can be terminated if the veteran regains capacity. Now, the veteran, of course, would have to go ask for it, but you know that they're going to get pushback from that particular guardian. Okay. The debate is civil liberties. Will they have, they're going to strip them of their autonomy. Trust issues. It could undermine the trust between veterans and the current support systems. It would also have implementation challenges, which is trying to coordinate among police and social workers, clinicians, lawyers. I mean, it's all over the place. So right now there are about 33,000 veterans who are homeless, with 14,000 of them living unsheltered, which is a tragedy in and of itself. The program is expected to also affect hundreds of veterans who are currently in VA facilities. And of that 33,000, 14,000 rather, 60% of those veterans have mental illness, which highlights the need for structured care interventions. Now, my friend Beth, who actually brought this story to me, she was saying if they get this guardianship conservatorship over these veterans, and given the fact that we've got RFK Jr. and Dr. Oz running our medical facility stuff, to me and her, it reminds us of the Nazis and what they did to the individuals who were in the death camps, because they used them for experimentation, drugs. They did all kinds of things to these people. And what is to stop these guardians from doing that exact same things to these veterans? I mean, I don't want to appear draconian in all of this, but it scares the ever-loving crap out of me when I really start to think about it. So
another Wendy Williams, huh?
Exactly.
Well,
or Britney Spears.
Yeah. Guardianships are hard to get out of. Conservative.
Yeah, they are.
And once they get their fangs in there. Now, Katie, I was going to bring up the same thing. Didn't they just cut a ton of VA benefits?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they cut VA. One of my friends, her husband's a dietitian in a VA hospital, and I think over the last year, it's like 50% of his staff has been cut, and like people are just shit out of luck, basically.
This is what they do. They create the problem.
Yeah.
And then they create a potential solution for this that benefits them in some way.
Yeah.
And then it makes.
But we built all the places for immigrants, 10,000 room, enough for 10,000 people, but we can't house our military veterans.
Right.
But they love the veterans. They love the military.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they show it. Yeah.
Even though the dumbass in chief can't even take his hat off.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so disrespectful.
Roseanne, did you want me to put this article up, or did you already?
I've pretty much covered it, but it started with the Wall Street Journal, but the Independent also had some news on it. I know it's organic, and as it unfolds, I mean, I'm definitely going to follow it because my dad was he was a World War II veteran. My cousin was the Vietnam War. I have a number of friends who are Vietnam War veterans. So I have a great interest in this story. So if anything else comes up, I can do a follow-up on it. for
Yeah,
us.
thank you. Another story to
you.
keep track of.
Thank you.
Very important because, yeah, there's a documentary out there about guardianship, conservatorship, and it is horrifying. Horrifying. And it's all about gaining access to people's money.
Yep, absolutely.
Bad enough your children want it.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Britney Spears, like I worked at a firm where, you know, it was in appeals, but we were transferring, like they actually defended, Britney Spears' dad, with his conservatorship and guardianship. I can't tell you anything, but it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, clearly. Thank you, Roseanne. That's and another important topic.
Thank you.
Holy cow, we have a lot of them today. So let's switch gears again. Keisha, what the hell is going on with DOGE? We haven't heard about this for a while.
Yeah. Y'all remember the Doge boys, right?
Big balls.
Doggies.
Those little frat boys.
Well, they're back in the spotlight because they are being sued by a handful of organizations. And as part of these lawsuits, they were deposed this week. And there's a long video that you can watch, but we're going to show a couple clips tonight that are the lowlights of this deposition. So Kim, if you could put up the first video from dumbass number 1.
Is this one okay?
Yeah.
The other one. It doesn't matter.
This
Coming to you.
This guy has no soul in his eyes. He is
hang
dead.
on. I know.
Yeah,
hang on, guys.
Don't spoil it yet. Let people see whether he has a soul or not from the video. So this is dumbass number 1, who was responsible for getting rid of a lot of DEI programs. Let's hear from him.
Okay.
There was the EO explicitly laid out the details. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
It's okay. I'm asking for your understanding of it.
Yeah, my understanding was exactly what was written in the EO.
Okay. So can you?
I don't remember what was in the EO.
So right now, do you have an understanding of what DEI is?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's your understanding as you sit here today in this deposition?
Well, it was exactly what was written in the EO. And so anytime that we would look at a grant through the lens of complying with an executive order, we would just refer back to the EO and assess if this grant had relation to it.
Okay, but I guess I'm stepping back from your methodology strictly in terminating the grants. Do you have an understanding as you sit here today of what DEI means?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your understanding of what it means?
Well, it is exactly what was written in the EO.
Okay, so why is the documentary about Holocaust survivors DEI?
Section.
Einstein.
It's the gender-based story that's inherently discriminatory to focus on this specific group.
It's inherently discriminatory to focus on what specific group?
The gender-based, so females during the Holocaust.
And you believe that that's inherently discriminatory?
I'm just saying that's what it's focused on.
Sure.
But this is related to DEI.
Right. But you just used the term inherently discriminatory. What did you mean by that?
It's focusing on DEI principles, gender being one of them.
So a documentary that's about women would be DEI. Gotcha. Is that fair to say?
You don't even know what he means.
So tell me why what I just said isn't DEI, but what you just said is DEI. Objection.
It's a Jewish, specifically focused on Jewish cultures and amplifying the marginalized voices of the females in that culture.
Oh my God.
It's inherently related to DEI for those reasons.
How do you interpret DEI?
Was that it? Or was it more?
Wow.
Does anybody else feel dumber?
I know.
Oh my
That
God.
was painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Embarrassed for that.
I know that the first time it was like,
So anything that's DEI that doesn't focus on white straight men, everything outside of that is DEI? Is that what he's?
It's kind
That's
of serious.
yeah. That's anything
Well, it's what's
that's
written
not
in the
about
EO.
straight
It's what's
white
written in
men
the EO.
is DEI.
It's in the EO. Yeah.
It's in the EO, like the Dow, the Dow.
But the Dow, the
Hey,
Dow.
dumbass.
The Dow.
We always refer to the EO.
Oh my God.
His
Is the second one worse?
Yes, let's hear from dumbass number 2, and then we can.
Holy cow!
So dumbass number 2 is responsible for LGBTQ programs.
Oh gosh.
Great.
Oh, this one should be good.
I see a drinking game coming.
No. To support their lives? No. I think it was more important to reduce the federal deficit from $2 trillion to close to zero. Did you reduce the federal deficit? No, we didn't.
This is a history of the HIV/AIDS prison movement and its legacies in the United States. My book project narrates how activists fought the convergence of HIV/AIDS and incarceration from inside and outside prisons across the Reagan through Clinton years, and argues that this organizing holds legacies in the prison abolition movement of the 1990s to today. This is one of the grants that you or Mr. Fox identified as craziest at NEH, is that right?
That's right.
Why did you identify this as one of the craziest grants?
Because it references feminist and queer insights into prison abolition and LGBTQ studies.
Any other reasons?
No.
Examining military service from the margins, the complicated service discussion series will bring together veterans and community members to examine the experiences of service members who identify themselves as female, Black, Native American, LGBTQ, or an immigrant, the dynamics, reasoning, and strength behind serving a country that does not always serve you in return. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
You and Mr. Fox identified this as one of the craziest grants at NEH?
Yes, it appears so.
Why did you do that?
Because it explicitly says LGBTQ.
Do you have any history in, like, let's say, scholarly peer review?
No.
Okay. So, but this judgment call was made by you and your personal judgment combined with Justin's personal judgment to cancel grants based on DEI?
Yes.
Okay. Do you think it's inappropriate in any way that someone in their 20s with no experience with grants for federal government was making personal judgment calls about what grants to cancel?
No, I don't think it's inappropriate.
Okay. Why not?
Jackson. I think a person can have enough judgment from reading books and being well informed outside of traditional experience to make judgment calls about obvious things like a grant that literally lists DEI in its description to know whether it violates an executive order.
I'm sorry. I'm saying books because you said books. What books would you have read that would have informed your opinion on what grants to cancel based on DEI? Or
there were no books.
You don't regret that people might have lost important income.
There were no.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
You don't need dumbass number 3.
No.
That must be what they play in like torture chambers to get people to talk.
Jesse, you're right on that.
That was funny.
I got some good shit on that one. Holy cow.
Obviously this is upsetting.
It clears, yeah.
Yeah.
Because these guys are tasked with ridding the government of what's considered wasteful programs and unfair programs because of DEI, which they cannot define, but because they think that people who fall under the DEI umbrella are unqualified and are not getting opportunities based on merit. What merit are they exhibiting in these depositions? Because clearly they don't seem qualified for the role for which they were hired.
Yeah.
You can't define DEI. You don't have experience with peer-reviewed studies, writing grants, reading grants, reviewing grants. You can't define words.
Yeah.
So what makes you qualified for these roles aside from having a penis, being straight, and not having melanin?
He said
Well,
read your
I'm
book.
sorry, they have melanin, just not as much melanin as some other people.
You know he's gonna blame how he talks and stuff. He's autistic. That's why he talks like that.
Oh my
Well,
God.
I'm sorry, then he's not qualified for this role because that would fall under DEI.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been hired because if he was autistic, then that would be DEI.
DEI.
Well, look at their leader, Elon Musk.
Well, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, there's meritocracy for you, right?
Yeah. Yeah. When I was like in my 20s, I didn't really mature until after 25, and I had my first child.
Well, what did they? Yeah.
And men are like even way behind us. So like my husband really didn't mature until he was like 35, almost 40. So
let's put young boys who their prefrontal cortex has not fully developed yet
exactly
in charge of these important programs that are needed. Or they wouldn't have been there in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As upsetting as this is, I actually look at these videos and I think between what these young men demonstrate or don't demonstrate, and Trump and Hegseth and Rubio and that whole cabinet of straight white men and some who are pretending to be straight, this is the last gasp of white male patriarchal supremacy. This is them fighting to stay on top, and they're done. They have shown time and time again that they do not deserve to be in the positions that they have elevated themselves into.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's time for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Join us,
yes,
or be left behind.
Yes. Yeah. And if they are representative of what they have to offer,
bye,
no,
boo.
thank you. No, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass.
And
I'll take the bear.
And the best presidential candidate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we all know who that is, or was.
Oh, thank you, Keisha. Very informative and eye-opening.
It's almost like, where did you find that information?
Yeah, I don't know. So we're going to wrap things up with Mo, you want to talk about the Target boycott, and then we've got a couple funny videos for you.
Yeah, it's just a tiny little PSA. I just want to let my people out there know. First of all, Pastor Jamal Bryant hitched his butt to the thing that was already going on. The boycott was started by Tamika Mallory and Senator Nina Turner when Target first capitulated to the regime and said that they were cutting out their DEIA programs from their store. Now, Pastor Jamal Bryant came about, this was at the beginning of Lent, and he decided we're going to do a 40-day fast on Target, and he hitched his wagon to the boycott that had already been called on. But somehow he figured that, and this needs to be investigated, that because he and Target had some sort of a meeting, which Target gave no concessions, didn't meet any of the demands, but he decided boycott is over. And I just want to let people know, no. We are still not doing Target. Target is not our friend. So you can roll that video with Georgia Fort.
Confused. The national Target boycott did not end. So why are all these outlets saying that it did? Let's back up a little bit. A quick Google search will show you two different things started last year. A 40-day Target fast started on March 5th, which was Ash Wednesday. It galvanized the clergy and church community to boycott Target. The national Target boycott started a month earlier on February 1st and has continued without interruption. So the leader of the 40-day fast that ended last April said he's now ending the boycott too.
We have not been able to get all that we have desired, but I am grateful for the strides that we have made.
But the three founders in Minnesota, where Target is headquartered and where the national Target boycott started, say they're still holding the line.
Don't be fooled. The Target boycott continues. It continues because the demands have yet to be met, and it continues because we are winning.
So the national Target boycott started on February 1st in Minneapolis by Nikema, Jaylani, and Monique. Then a month later, the 40-day Target fast started on March 5th by Pastor Jamal, who is the one now calling for the end of the boycott. But the question remains, how can you end something you admitted you didn't start?
Y'all not gonna like this, but it's things that make you go, And Nikema Levi Armstrong, for historical record, is the one who started the Target boycott. She called for accountability for this Fortune 500 company in the city that Target is located in. The same company that is harboring ICE agents, who is using their parking lots for them to set up. The same organization that pledged $2 billion and still have not turned over the receipts. The same company who the day after the inauguration of President Donald John Trump withdrew its position on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and she's the first one they get arrested? Super bad sister.
I am so confused.
Yeah.
What about Al Sharpton? When did he join in? I thought Al Sharpton was first.
No. It was the women.
He was like at the beginning of the year.
Well, I don't care what Target ever does. I ain't never going back there.
I still boycott.
I ain't never gonna do it. Ever.
They ended their DEI program. So no.
That's why she was divorced.
No. All right, no shopping at Target. That's the message. All right, let's end on a couple funnies.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, please.
Yes. Have told everyone to just fuck off. Tired of being judged for choosing to have children or not have children, to have children and go back to work, to have children and not go back to work, for being too thin, too fat, too pushy, too unambitious, too hot, not hot enough, or even for just daring to be alive. Women have stressed that everyone can go fuck themselves.
Yes.
Nathan Muir has been gauging the reaction because apparently a man is the best person to report this story.
If you have a vagina, people have the right to judge you on every single thing you do, even what you do with your vagina. Or so it has been up until now. I spoke to one of womankind, or the clitorati, as no one is calling them, about their backlash.
Enough's enough. The message is clear, and the message is, you're right, we will do as you command. Just kidding, it's fuck off.
That's all from me.
Oh, yay.
Oh, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Literati.
And delivered with that British accent, it's priceless.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's going to be my new thing.
All right, we have one more quickie from Andrea. Yeah, it's a fast one. Let's see. Does this have sound? Yeah, it does. All right, here we go.
You gotta learn how. That's a bear. Stay calm and don't move a muscle.
I'm with him.
Okay, so yeah, equal opportunity. We had to do one for men too.
I was wrong.
right. Oh my gosh. I know we ran over, but we had such great topics today. And please, everybody, thank you who joined us in the chat. You know, we love talking to you. We appreciate your comments and we appreciate your support. Please, please, please like and subscribe. And if you can, and if you so desire, please consider becoming a member and supporting our work. It helps keep us going here. So any last words from anybody before we sign off?
Thank you for including me. I had a great time, and you know, I look forward to continuing to contribute. So thank you all. You're really great women, and we got to keep this up.
Yep.
Yeah, you're here. Absolutely.
Thank you for joining.
Thank
What
you.
did Marlene call next up again?
What?
What did our Maureen call Pete Hexeth again?
A nasty bugger.
Bugger.
Just in that.
That is a nasty bugger. All right, we'll end there. Nasty bugger. You guys have a great weekend. We'll see you next week. Join us Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. Bye.
Bye.
We the people unite.